we knew that it's going to be in a civilian environment. So that is why we decided on these concepts.
General Mehta, you wanted to ask a question? Anybody who's having a mic? Yes, sir.
My question is on the structure of the training models used. Was it based on the explicit knowledge available in the sort of the standard procedures available, or whether the tacit knowledge of our battle experiences has been incorporated and it was indigenously created?
This was indigenously created, and actually time and again the Special Operations Forces who helped us train these teams did conduct small group training. So actually a battalion had a platoon, something like 24. But that was not sufficient to look after the whole, to look after a complete area of operations with jungles. So we had to simply have enough numbers. So what we did was, it's like expanding the capabilities of a basic section. It's something like that. And the initial training, the experience of the Special Operations Forces was actually given to us. We used them to build these teams. And it is just indigenous.
Yes, General Mehta, sir.
Thank you. I'm getting slow at the draw because every time I move my mic forward, somebody else has already asked the question. But this time I'm not letting go. I have one question for General Munasenge and one for anybody on the panel. My question for General Munasenge is that there was an Indian Army ADS located somewhere on the east coast, south of Mullaitivu. Could you tell us again, because very little is known of what it was doing and what interaction you had with the cooperation with that medical detachment. The larger question is something I've been thinking about for a long time, and maybe the panel can help stimulate an answer. This is about the fact that the LTTE did not have a plan B. And because when they were being pushed into the corner towards Mullaitivu, a lot of Sri Lankan defense and strategic experts were saying that while you might finish off the LTTE conventionally, LTTE as a threat, as a guerrilla force would remain. Some of your top military leaders also said so at that time, about 6 months or so before, and not just your leaders, outside too. People said that the LTTE would remain as a guerrilla force, as a threat, as indeed they did in the east. Some LTTE hardcore did melt after the Topigala operation, and you flushed them out later. So my question is that what happened? Why did the LTTE not have this plan B? To do what a lot of people expected them to do. And a small bit of this concept, a separate question, is on the SIOT, which I find absolutely very interesting and very productive from the point of view of pushing the LTT into the corner. You said that, the brigadier, you said that the SIOT forced out from the jungles the LTT into positional defense. Or have I got that wrong?
Yes.
You did say that. Now, why I ask this question is that the LTT in any case in the Vani was forced or constrained to hold positional defense because they were fighting conventionally. Because this was the only place where they had to hold territory. In the north, they didn't hold territory. In the east, they didn't hold territory. The only territory they held was from the line Mannar-Vanni east and north up to Elephant Pass. So I don't think that was the consequence of SIOT. But certainly SIOT had all the other virtues that you have enumerated. Maybe I've got it wrong.
Yeah, first we'll...
I will
Sanjeev
answer
will
to your
answer.
question one. Yes, there was the Indian Army Field Hospital. I was involved in planning and coordinating the project. And Indian Army medical officers are operating in that. That was established in Pulmudi, the eastern coast of Sri Lanka. There were about over 9,000 patients were treated there at Pulmudi Hospital, and over 7,000 patients are treated at army hospitals, and over 3,000 patients are treated at naval hospitals. And all those patients, after treating the field hospital, MDS or base hospital, they were transferred to static hospitals outside that area. That is Anuradhapura, Vavuniya, Kandy, and sometimes in Colombo, depending on the severity. Have I answered your question?
Yes, right.
In certain areas of Mannar, yes, they did have proper positional defense. Now in Vanni, they had a few thin lines. They were more delaying positions. They were actually not, they were not in solid positional defenses. They fought basically, as we keep pushing them back, they kept going back. And they fought it in jungles which they had, what they used was bases. They had bases and minimum numbers on a few points. Of course, they control terrain. So, it is only after we contested the jungles that they went into the solid Ditchkumban type of positional defenses. That's what I meant. They took up solid defenses, fortifications. All this came up after they lost the contest for the jungles. So, it's not that I'm saying that they were not in control of territory. No. It's that they were not in the proper positional defense in the context of being able to hold back the security forces. Have I?
So not only in the north, even in the east, infantry used the same concept. Even after liberating the east, to flush the terrorists beyond the east TOR, including the volunteer force infantrymen, they were trained and they were employed in the same manner. And that was very effective there also. Yes, sir.
Well, I just would like to jump on the last intervene, because I have seen that you use your special forces as regular infantry. And according to the terrain and the nature of the combat, why don't you develop the concept of air mobile operations? Thank you.
Yeah, mobile.
Okay. We didn't have a Yamabile brigade, but of course we didn't have actually enough assets.